Good morning. I usually wake up around 6 a.m. and I always have a little bit of time to scroll through my news, email, anything that I have to catch up on that happened overnight or that I couldn't get to in the evening. Coffee is definitely something that I put into my everyday routine, and I'm here just getting my daily dose of coffee before I head out. I actually live about 35 minutes away in League City, Texas. A few of us will live off of the island, some of us will live on. It really depends on your personal needs and your preference. I really like living out here because I have 2 kids, I have 2 dogs, there's a lot of space here, and definitely more than what I had when I was living in the New York metropolitan area, so my family and I really love it. There are, of course, pros and cons living either off the island or on. Obviously, if you're on the island, your commute is really short when you go to John Sealy or one of the campuses on Galveston. But actually, around your 2nd and 3rd year, and even a little bit in your intern year, you work in some of the Clear Lake and League City clinics and hospitals, which is only about 10 to 15 minutes away from me. Another thing we love about living here is there's such little traffic compared to at least the New York area. Those who are from larger cities definitely know what I'm talking about, and I've heard even Houston can get pretty trafficky, but in the end, it's still so much better than what we're used to, and it's nice to have a 35-minute commute and know that on most days, it really will be 35 minutes. With the pandemic being something that UTMB is obviously very aware of, we have masks, we have hand sanitizer and cleaning at pretty much every entrance of our university hospitals and clinics. I'm here walking to our adolescent clinic, which is located in something we call Primary Care Pavilion, and it has a bunch of offices with subspecialties and general pediatrics as well. And of course, more sanitizing in our work area stations before and after work. Epic is our EMR system that we use for both our outpatient and inpatient settings. I love the fact that we have it for both settings because the patient that we see in the hospital that comes up to us for follow-up, all of their records and notes are there and easily accessible. The way that our adolescent clinic rotation is set up is obviously we have our direct supervisor who is our faculty. This month we actually have another intern with me, so there's 2 interns total as well as 2 psychiatric residents. In the morning before our patients come in, we have about 30 minutes where Dr. Rupp, our faculty, will give us a lecture about anything that is relevant. Today, as you can see here, we're actually talking about substance abuse as it is quite prevalent amongst our patient population and how we can handle it, speak with them about it, and treat it as well. We actually have a really fun time together, joking around, talking about everything, and Dr. Rupp makes the experience very enjoyable, and at the end of it, we've learned so much from these everyday half-an-hour lessons. We're also encouraged to participate in something called Huddle, which is where we speak with the nurses and other of the clinic staff in terms of what to expect that day in the office. This here is just me giving a little tour of the Primary Care Pavilion. We have really beautiful artwork and murals to make this place feel very homey and very welcomed. This is usually the team room that we go to when we have our continuity clinic with our general pediatricians. We typically have one day or one half day of continuity clinic during one of our inpatient or outpatient rotations to make sure that we're seeing kids from birth all the way up until adolescent age and work with them and follow up with any of the issues or questions that they have. It's spacious and has a ton of resources, and I've had some really great experiences here with multiple faculty and also other interns and residents as well. This here is just a couple more shots of the different rooms in our clinic. This is our family waiting room, and we also have my fellow intern, Manasa, walking down the hallway back to adolescent clinic. This here is one of our patient rooms, and they all look pretty similar. They're really spacious. We have enough room for the patient, the caregivers, anyone who wants to come with them. Today was a particularly good day to film because Manasa brought in home-cooked Indian food that she brought just for our little team, and we had a blast eating lunch, hanging out, socializing, and commenting on how amazing it was. I'm sure you'll hear many times in your process of applying to residencies and different programs that it's really important to see how the residents, the faculty, all the support staff, how well they get along. And I can honestly say that there's so much support here. There is a ton of fun here, and we all really understand each other and work through issues together as a family. At this point, after seeing the last patient around 4 or 4:30, I've headed home to my 2 dogs. My kids are still in daycare, and this is just the time to unwind and relax. Every once in a while, at least once a month, hopefully 3 to 4 times a month, our chiefs and assistant chiefs will plan an event for us. Today's event is actually painting, and we had a bunch of us get together, paint these really beautiful pictures of an elephant in the scenery, and you could add whatever sort of creative flair that you wished. As I've said multiple times already, the people here are so great. I've only been here since the beginning of intern year, which was a few months ago, and I've already feel like I've gotten to know every single resident in every single class that I can text, call, paint with, hang out with, and it's completely seamless and fun. These are actually a group of third-year residents who will be graduating next year, and I will miss them so much. And they are a wealth of information for how they handled residency, what they're doing afterwards, and pretty much any advice on life that you could ask for, they're there to help you answer. By the time I get home, my daughter is still awake. My son, who is 8 months old, is already asleep, but she's here just hanging out with me on the couch. UTMB gives us a ton of resources through their medical library, so we have a lot of preparation resources such as prep questions, Peds in Review. These are all things that a lot of pediatric residents have utilized to prepare for their boards, and it's easy just to log in either through VPN or through your account and do a few questions whenever you have time. Peds in Review is pretty amazing. It's also through the AAP, and there are a ton of articles on things that are relevant and things that you'll see in clinic and in the hospital all the time. After reading the Peds in Review articles, you can actually take a quick quiz to show that you have learned about this topic, and you can get continuing medical education points for it, which you will be accruing throughout your entire career. And there's of course always time to binge on a couple of shows on Netflix and catch up on any shows you might have missed out on a busier rotation or when things were a little more hectic. At the end of the night, I'm able to speak with my parents through FaceTime. They live in New York currently, and they definitely miss us and we miss them. But the beauty of technology is that we still communicate every single day at minimum, and they love seeing my daughter as well, and we have a great time catching up on our days. I'm going to leave you all with some beautiful images of our beach that is just 5 to 10 minutes away from our hospital. And we have gotten together there to have barbecue, playing some music, and just getting some relaxation time after a block or on a weekend.